Hey everyone, hurry! Class is about to start!
Come back! The bell rang! What are you gonna do? I don't know, the bell rang! Yeah!
Where's Dino?
Does anyone see
Dino.
Click cool.
All right, let me
Okay.
shut this down.
Hilarious.
Hey guys,
Good evening.
This
good
is
evening.
welcome to the second grade of customizing figures.
Exactly. So we have points of articulation, and my name is Geek Strong. If you don't follow me, please follow. The man next to me is
Dan from Dandy 1981. Underneath
below
me,
Dandy,
I'm Vern. How's it going, everybody?
Oakhurststudios.
And I'm Josh Wallen, host of the Cat Cave. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for being here this evening.
You know, your
Awesome.
audio is probably the best out of all three of us. It must be that really fancy microphone with that
Yep.
vibration screen on there.
Yeah.
It was years of people listening to, well, not listening to me on podcasts and just using the same equipment. So kudos.
I have the
Excellent.
same. I think I have a Yeti with the same setup. And why does my mic sound so bad?
I think you're
Oh, no,
sitting
I've
too
got
far.
a mixing board and everything over here on this end. So
Yeah, come on.
it's
Yours is
probably
just a
overkill.
microphone. He's got like the whole set.
Oh,
There's probably
really?
a couple turntables in there.
Josh is spinning discs over there.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
So today we're going to talk about how we got into customizing and painting and all that stuff. So we're going to go around the table and talk about who we are. And the stream later, we're going to try to do this like once a week, same time every week. And the future videos we're going to do basically challenges. So we're going to have a challenge at the end of this. Yep, we're going to have a challenge at the end of this stream, and we're going to have the chat vote on the challenge. And that's Josh's idea for the voting.
My idea. Wait, what? What's happening here? This is like Squid Game. I'm not gonna kill Vern.
Contest.
This is terrible.
Oh my god. Contest. Oh.
So before we do all that, let's welcome people. We have a bunch of people already in here.
Get a
which is
great
pretty
group
exciting.
of people over there.
No
Yeah.
kidding. Oh my gosh, look at that.
So Dan's going to help me with
Excellent.
this too, but we're going to welcome the first person to the stream, G-Force.
Of course.
G-Force.
He's got a whole bunch of videos on Instagram right now, like these short videos of his
I've
collection.
been watching them.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, yeah. What a room, man. Or
Can you imagine? I'm like,
I
ooh.
didn't realize how cool his setup was. Very good job, G-Force. Rolando, you're second.
Hey, Rolando.
Congratulations. What's up, Rolando?
Rolando.
And we got our John, Super Awesome Geek Show. How's
Hey,
it going,
John,
John?
Hey, can I say something? While John's up here, John, thank you very much. He sent me some Hulk comics earlier in the week. I had them right here. But
Thanks, John. They really meant a lot. They're
They did.
right here
They
at the
might
top
have
of my
helped.
reading list. But
They might
Oh,
be
check-
under that stack of toys behind you.
okay, here. So
Oh, we found it.
Yeah.
Hulk.
Smash.
This is the one he was telling me about before he sent them. Look at this, knickers, man.
kickers.
Oh,
Oh.
wow. That's cool.
Oh, I read it in the English version. Hulk versus Quasimodo. Come on, who's gonna win that battle? Marvel Hulk, right? And then there's a poster. This is I think this was the poster, so I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for
Wow.
sending those.
Nice
Fun,
collection
fun.
there.
And Nathan, I got your package today. I'm gonna open it Sunday live on Toys and Fitness Talk.
That sounds
We're
inappropriate.
gonna open that live. I'm excited for that. It actually feels pretty heavy, so
And Nathan, I did not get my package yet, but I'll keep checking them out.
You get it? Check in the mail.
Just
we have
kidding.
Left Coast Graphics in the house.
Oh,
And Left Coast,
What up, Rick?
good to see you there.
You're Mr.
And-
Arts and Crafts. Don't give us nerds, sir.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is.
Did you watch his live streams when he was like doing the drawing? The meticulous drawing.
Yes.
yeah, awesome job.
And we mean that in the most complimentary way. Ridiculous. Good Lord. If you guys aren't following Left Coast Graphics, please do. Rick does
Yeah.
some excellent work.
Excellent work.
He's got the upcoming land speeder, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah, I
land
saw
speeder
that.
release is coming
Looks
up.
good.
Freaking awesome.
Yeah, I gotta pick up a bunch of pins very soon.
I have some patches coming.
Do you?
Patches?
Those, are
Yeah,
you gonna?
there's some patches. It's the Wampa, but within the black
You don't
chenille
need
or
no
whatever.
stinking
Yeah.
patches.
Oh, that's cool.
You know,
Are you gonna actually iron it on?
I'll probably. I have some other patches and stuff too. I think I'm gonna eventually do like a jean jacket or something. With
I
patches on.
said the same thing 30 years ago, and those patches
Yep.
are still sitting where they sit.
You know what? The funny thing is, I may do a hoodie
Oh, I love
instead.
hoodies.
Yeah,
Yeah, hoodies are the best. Fabulous is here.
fab. Look at that.
Good evening.
John
Hello,
Joker, good to see you,
Double
John.
J, what up?
So I hope everyone has their crayons ready because we're gonna do some crafts later on.
Yes. And Dan, you don't get to eat them this time.
dang it.
So I'm scrolling down to see if
I only like the cheap ones though, not the Crayola stuff. I want the stuff that tastes like straight up wax and
Generics
John's-
are just as good as Crayola. They taste just equally delicious. You just don't get the fancy names.
Dave's
The
Dimensions
only
here.
other
Hey, Dave.
Hello,
Buffalo
Dave.
fan I
Yeah.
know, right?
super. John was playing Elden Ring and said to switch over. So thanks, John.
I saw that.
We appreciate you. Hopefully, it won't be as painful as Elden Ring.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you won't die 20 times. So
Yes. Well, I mean, you might, but
well, yeah.
if
Yeah.
Dino's setting us up for something, we still have no idea what
We
these
still-
challenges entail.
I mean, you might swoon over Dino a few times, but that I don't think dying would be.
So we're gonna do we're gonna do projects
Arts
through
and crafts. I
stream.
thought you were going to say arts and crafts.
and
do arts and crafts
and
now,
hopefully
boys and girls.
everybody in the stream will play along. So we'll tell
Yes.
you the challenge for this week, so you have all your supplies for next week.
Please
Make
get
sense?
your finger paints out.
So it'll be simple, but we'll all learn something. I'm gonna do something that I've never done before, and it's not soldering, dude. So
Come on.
Jeez, man, it's no fun.
Team Solder for life.
so
Oh
I
my
will
gosh.
start,
Let me tell you. Can I tell you a funny story about soldering?
please.
Yeah.
All right. Has anybody done any plumbing?
Yes.
Okay, so you know the way to solder a joint for plumbing is you heat up the joint and then you touch it with the solder and then it sucks it in. But when
Yeah.
you're doing electronics, you basically heat the solder and it melts onto the wire. So I did not read the instructions on the little kit. So I was up in my attic trying to solder some plumbing and I was like trying to melt the solder and it kept dripping on the ground. I couldn't figure out for the life of me what was going on. I
Nice.
went downstairs. I was so frustrated. I was like on my phone looking for plumbers. I had the package for like the welding thing or the heat, and I was like looking at it, and I could see the picture of the flame on the joint, and I was like, wait a minute. So you got to read the instructions, people.
Hey, there are many fails in life, just as long as we learn from them.
That's why I get the shark bites. I don't even mess with the pipes anymore.
Oh, that's what somebody recommended to me after.
It's good stuff. Yeah, after I
Mhm.
stressed for 2 hours.
All right, so we'll start the stream. In this today's stream, we're going to
I
show
thought we've
some.
been going for like 8 minutes. What's happening?
Well, yeah.
I
Oh,
know.
hey, welcome everybody. I want to thank Rolando for. Oh, sorry.
So I'm gonna tell you what got me into creating. So I've loved drawing and painting basically all my life. I have a let me pull up the show.
Oh, we're gonna show our drawings.
So I actually have a drawing from when I was 8 years old.
Kiss.
Wow.
Nice.
The greatest band of all time, Kiss.
Come on, Dino. Give it the old college try. Let's go. You wanted the best. You got the best. The hottest band in the world today. Kiss.
Wow,
So not bad for an 8-year-old, I think.
that's a great intro.
That
Right.
is. It's too late for that.
So then I started doing, after that, I got into, I have some pics here. So then we got into models and basically paint by numbers. So these are a few of the paint by numbers that I still own. everybody loves the Frankenstein, right?
Love it.
Yeah.
That's good work, though. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Paint by
I like
numbers.
that.
So my whole thing is I love painting. And do you remember back in the 70s, they used to make
Well,
the
I do.
monster
Some of these
basically
guys might
kind
only
of like
remember
King
back to the
Kong models.
80s.
Those are
That
great.
the
Yeah, that's
Zorak.
actually really cool.
So this is the
Zork.
giant praying mantis that attacks the city, and these were back in the 70s. This is a retro version, and they actually have some retro ones that I'm not sure if you can still get them, but they made a giant tarantula and a scorpion. And
I can't say that I've ever seen those.
I actually own one of the ones from the 70s, unbuilt.
Wow.
These must have been really popular right after all these like Attack of the Giant Spiders and those movies when those movies were coming out, right?
Very, very
Yeah.
Harryhausen.
Yeah.
I love it.
So do you none of you guys remember those?
Nope.
John does. Super awesome geek.
John remembers. Oh, good.
I mean, I've seen them, but I was unfortunately slightly just missed the age restriction there.
So then you start getting into a detail when you're painting them and trying to get shadowing and all that. And then do you remember the Aurora models, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
So this is the mummy. And then you start to get into a little bit of more muddy version, starting adding layers into it and stuff like that. Right? And then in 1988 hit. Boom, you ready? Who remembers these models? Now, this is when I started getting into painting more detail. You remember Screaming models?
Mm-mm.
I don't think I've ever seen those.
What?
No.
So these were probably 12 to 18 inch tall, and they were like PVC type of material, and you would have to fill it with plaster of Paris, the lower half, and then glue it together.
Yikes.
So they had Elvira.
Hey now.
They've even had the commando from, what was this?
Suburban Commando.
Suburban Commando from
Suburban
Arnold.
Commando Mutant?
You're not going to get away with it, brother.
Yep, that's with Hulk Hogan. And then my favorite one was Jason, where you can actually reveal his face. And that's when I started getting into like detail work and painting and stuff like that. So my whole thing was basically painting. And then I got into Star Wars collecting again in probably, I'd say, the early 90s and then 2000. And then I bought a Star Wars Yoda playset, right? But the swamp was a sticky sludge. So I went on eBay trying to find a replacement for it. Couldn't find it anywhere. So I decided to make one myself. And so many of you might have this item in your house because I was like the only eBay seller selling these, and I've sold them for probably 6 years, and I must have sold about 600 of these items. So somebody in the community has got to have it. So what it was is a piece of felt and 2 pieces of foam, which would give it the thickness. You put these two together and it made the dig of the swamp, right? So that's when I started getting into a little bit of custom work, and I'm like, huh. Right? So then I got into bodybuilding, stepping on stage and stuff like that. And if anybody knows, it takes a lot of discipline to go from 185 pounds to like 160, nutrition wise, exercising. So to take my mind off of things, I started customizing figures. So I made I think this was like my very first custom. So
Mrs. Chewbacca.
I assume, yeah.
That's like Nala, right?
Chewbacca's got boobs, though.
Yeah. So I actually used to make the boobs was wood filler, like wood putty. That's the only product I had, and it worked.
Has
And I
anybody been
made,
able to confirm whether or not Wookiees call them boobs?
Good question.
I mean, we want to
made the
be
grandpa
correct, right? Ah, itchy.
use the wicket. So I would take original figures that were kind of beat up, and I got a wicket, took its ears off, and then for Chewbacca, I just used a Rebel, the
Emperor's Royal Guard.
the Emperor's Royal Guard cloak, and just customized it to fit. And I also they never made Willow, so I made a Willow figure by using the body of an Ugnaught in the head of a Battlestar Galactica. So, and then that's when I started getting into bashing figures together. And then people have seen my custom work if you've seen my video. So
Thunder.
I don't know. Does this kind of look like the Warriors? You ever see the movie The Warriors?
Ah. Come out and play.
So I've actually had a few death threats from people on YouTube. I'm just joking, not really, but people like saying that their hair is too dark and stuff like that, which I totally agree. So I want to revisit some of these fails that I've done as one of the challenges, and possibly make these look a little bit better for Thundar. So that's my first possible challenge, and we'll let the chat decide on next week's challenge. Is take an existing project that you had and try to make it better. And I also made.
Good evening, Michael. Good to see you, buddy.
Hey,
Mike.
The Death Star, the Palatoy Death Star, from images online. So I just went and scrolled, and I found images and scaled it down and printed, and I was able to make the Death Star. This is Micro Machine version, so all the Micro Machines actually fit to scale pretty much on these.
Nice.
So that's how I got into, if that makes any sense.
Nope. I think you're gonna need to re-explain it.
Do it again.
I'm a little lost.
There was something about bodybuilding in there.
There was. So
And hey, come on by for the custom figures, stay for the fake Wookiee titties. So
you asked for it. All right, so Dan's up to bat.
Right now.
Ready, Dan?
Yep, I don't have much for show and tell, but I was gonna show you a peek of my latest diorama for a start. God, I've always been doing it. I mean, I think I was probably maybe 10, yeah, probably 10 or 11. And I remember not being able to get a lot of the stuff that I wanted to get, like specifically, I'm going to make references to G.I. Joe. I know there was more, but that's just the one that I'm thinking of right now, like the Terrordrome, the headquarters, the stuff that I knew I could never afford. I'm never going to get it. I mean, I could barely talk my mom into buying me, one or two figures a year. So with what I had, I started like using cardboard and tape and just putting stuff together. I remember building like a little headquarters one time with multiple levels on it, out of just cardboard, tape, paper, construction paper. I even had an elevator with some string that I tied onto it so you could put the guys in the one side. And, it had a wall, a little computer, some chairs. And this is all cardboard with some very, very, simple 10-year-old drawings on it. Nothing artistically elaborate. And then I went and made the mistake of painting it silver because I thought, oh, it'd look cool with silver. And I found some silver spray paint. And I found out how bad that smells and what it does to cardboard when it gets wet and you overspray. So I pretty much ruined that thing that I worked on for weeks on end. But it was fun while I was around. And then I don't know, like I said, I'm always just tinkering with stuff. Fast forward X amount of years and start getting back into the Marvel Legends when they came out. I did a couple custom figures, but I don't think I'm very good at it. I'm not. I can't pop a head off like Vern can, and can't paint like Josh. So I had a couple wins that I was really pleased with, and the rest of them were just, I don't even call them fails, but they just didn't come out like I wanted them to.
Hey, what
And
about
then
my
of course,
painting?
what's that?
You said Josh's painting. What about my painting? Look at that Wookiee.
Heck yeah,
Stop stroking that Wookiee, Dino.
he's
Can't help it.
he's very careful not to touch above the waist. I noticed.
It's utterly mind-boggling why he would sit here and continue to interrupt with Mala.
So I don't know if you guys can see this one back here, but this is my latest one. I'm actually gonna pop the camera off so you can
I
get a
love that one, man.
better shot of it.
So cool.
That is nice.
That is so awesome, man. The wood. I showed my wife that, like the crack in the floorboards. Wow.
And then you know what? I left the door in the other room. It does have a door. I left the door in the other room, but that's a combination of about 3 or 4 different foams that I've come to work with on a regular basis. EVA foam, just regular styrofoam, craft foam, and XPS foam. And yeah, so I just kind of put those together and I have fun. I mostly started doing those kind to take pictures before the funny thing was I was doing that before I even knew about Instagram. And my wife, I'm sure you guys probably heard this story from the other times that I've told it. But my wife was like, you should post some of those on Instagram. I bet there'd be somebody interested in toys, pictures of toys. I'm like, no, nobody's going to care about that. This was, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I'm like, nobody's going to, no, I doubt it. She's like, no, I've shown some of your stuff, some people on there, and they're like, oh, I totally follow him. Like, okay, all right, so there you go.
It's a cool
A
story.
star was born.
Yeah.
Let me say hi to Michael Reed came in. Hi, Michael.
I got an invite to somebody's show.
Vern is actually part of this show. He's not a guest. He's actually part. He is hooked in the show now. Until he fails the challenge and doesn't come back.
Until I get voted off. Is this like American Idol where there's going to be a vote off?
We'll have the chat vote who the winner is, and then
you won't be back the following week.
Off. We're all going to get the same fate as Jason Todd back in the day.
I'll answer G-Force's question real quick. Yes, I do use hot foam now. I tried a couple different kinds. The 6000 Crazy Glue, wood glue works really good, but I don't have the patience for it because it's like a permanent bond, and it will break the foam before it breaks the crease where you put it in. But you have to leave it steady overnight because otherwise it'll move.
John just sent me a photo, but
what is Twirler?
Ooh.
That
sounds like a super fun dating app for people who've been in the circus.
John and Dino were on Twirler.
Yeah.
Or you think of Baton? You think Baton?
So I was dating this girl that I met on Twirler. Boy, could she make your head turn.
Let me show you a custom that John just sent me that he made. How cool is this, man?
There better be some more Wookiee breasts in here.
I'm anxious to see. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. See that? Oh, yeah, there it is.
Oh, that is awesome.
How cool is that, huh?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Is that the terror drone?
Yep. He said he did the three levels with the cardboard there. He's even got the symbol drawn in.
So I'm curious. So I'm curious about this poster above that. Is that the Star Wars cards, the picture that was put together? Because one of the sets of cards, I think, made that image.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, on the back of the Star Wars cards, they used to put them together. I think that was one of the posters. So I'm curious if that's a poster made up of the cards.
Wouldn't it have had the border though? Because didn't they have like a?
Did they have a border around those?
Like
posters?
A red or yellow or blue? Like they had different color borders for the. You're talking the stickers.
No, on the card side, there was
Yeah.
like the border, but when you flipped it over, it was an image. And then if you got enough of the cards, you could put it together and make a poster.
I do have. Yeah, I have it right here, John. I mean, Vern.
Is
So I
that the
have
same
some of
post? Is that the?
the, no,
Because I'm
but I
pretty
have
sure
some
that
of
was
the
one of the
cards.
posters, right?
I have some of the card. Well, these are actually the.
John's saying it could be.
Was it the stickers that had the
No,
image?
it was. Some of the cards had the pictures on the back.
Oh yeah, here we go. I
You
have
see
one
Brandon
card right
sneaking in
there.
there, Icebox Comics and Games.
What's up, Brandon?
Brandon?
Let me see. I'll show you here.
Brandon's somebody we could have on in the future talk to
Yeah.
us about
There you
pressing
go.
and cleaning up comics.
Here's your answer, Vern.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it does have
Oh,
a
with
little
the-
border on the
A
side.
little border.
Yeah. So this is the image too, right? With the Chewbacca. So that's what you were talking. This is the actual.
Yeah, but he's saying it's probably a poster because the border's not there.
Yeah. All right, Vern, you're up to bat.
Okay, so just a little bit of history. I also drew when I was younger, and I had all my own comic book series that I used to do. And this was my team, the Supersonics. They look nothing like the Avengers or any of the Marvel characters, even if
Nothing
they're
at all
Saving
like
too.
Like it, yeah, nothing at all.
I think they
There's
copied you.
nobody like Mr. Fantastic at all was
No.
in my comics.
No
But,
copyright there.
I used to do that all the time, and the figures that I used to play with a lot were the Mego figures, the superheroes, and then I had the knights. And one of the things that I like to do, because I took characters and I would make my own characters when I drew, we would take those, or I would take those Mego figures and we would take the superhero outfits off and make clothes for them. So they would have like regular clothes or whatever. And then I remember I had made like the Lone Ranger with one. And so I had to make a mask. The hat was made out of cardboard. I made cardboard, and then I made him a cardboard horse. So I was doing all kinds of stuff when I was, 5 or 6. And some of it was, do you remember that game that had like the little it was like a cone and you had a ball and you would throw it with that thing and then you'd catch it?
Yeah.
I remember putting that on a banana board, and like taping it down and then putting like cardboard seats in it and stuff like that. And that was like a rolling machine. So yeah, I think like that's probably the start of like just making like different kinds of stuff because there was nowhere to get it. You know what I mean? So like, just like John's thing, I made a lot of stuff out of cardboard. But then, as I got older, looking for figures, you want figures like this one. Like, I'm so happy that they finally made this version of the Rangers. This is the Super Sentai from
Yeah.
the first ones this is the first team, right? And I've never seen these except for in those plastic figures that they made in the 70s and 80s. So I'm really glad they have a fully articulable set. So there was a time where I was taking like some of those wrestling figures and I was doing like Ultraman, and I made my Kamen Rider. This is the V3. This is my favorite version of the Rider, right? With this helmet and this design. And then a character like you would never see here is this guy, Rainbow Man, right? And,
So you made these?
Yeah, I made these. And these are like the kind of the characters that I remember, but there's nowhere for me to find figures like these. Well,
Yeah.
nowadays, Figure Arts and Mafex is starting to like make these and you can get them imported, but instead of spending $120, I got like this used wrestling figure and I painted them up myself. And then, that nostalgia leads to something like The Greatest American Hero.
Oh, dude,
Oh, that is awesome.
They need to make one of those.
This is actually the farm boy Luke. I just put the hair on.
So how do you do the hair?
So what I did was I used something called epoxy sculpt.
Yeah, I just learned that from you too.
Comes in 2 parts, and it's like a clay. Once you mix it together, it starts to harden. So there's an A and a B. So once you mix them together, they start to get hard, and you wait like an hour, and then you can start using it and shaping it. So this just went on as a bulb over the head, and then I just got like a tool like this,
It's a great
just start.
stone.
Yeah, and I
that's
just
good.
start making like little twists and stuff in it.
God,
looks,
yeah.
And
it
then
looks more like him than it does Luke.
It
and
does,
then
man. I was just thinking before you said that was a farm of Luke Hedge. I was like, God, where'd you find that face? It looks just like him.
Yeah, that's one of
yeah,
my most wanted figures that to
that
be
me
made.
too, but they're so darn expensive if you want to get a
Yeah,
legitimate one. And this
yeah,
guy was super.
yeah.
And to
I'm
me,
gonna have to do that one. That'll be
this
our
is
next challenge.
yeah, this isn't perfect or by any means, right? You can tell
Yeah,
that like I don't have the steadiest hand and stuff like that. And if I had to paint the eyes on this, it wouldn't have been that great. But like I do like this is probably one of my favorite ones,
yeah,
right? That I've
definitely.
done. And that's really
So
kind of
what do you
how I
do? How do you spray paint the body?
okay, so I
You
don't
spray paint
spray
the body?
paint anything. I actually paint everything by hand
Yeah,
with
okay.
acrylic, like a tester's acrylic, or I was using Model Master for a while, and it's all hand painted. And the reason why I do that is I try to like bend the elbows and then paint the joints
Yeah.
and then wait for it to dry and then like put them out. It doesn't always work because
Do you
it
prime
always
first?
it always rubs off the joint.
Do you prime first or no?
I don't. I don't
Okay.
do any of that. So
All
I
right.
have this. Hold on.
I'll shut up.
I don't do any of that stuff. Let me see if this will. Oh no. I
I
was
think
so I have. I was going to try to share it, but I have a page on Figure Realm, and my customs are Vern. So if you go there, I can't seem to share it though. Anyways, I have some customs on there. I was going to show you like the little Yoda that I did, the Grogu I did it like a couple years ago, and it's awful, right? I don't have it anymore, but I was going to show it because I think it's like, oh, it's hideous, but I was so proud of it when I did it. Stuff. It's just really funny how you get really proud of stuff, and then, of course, you guys are probably all familiar. I did these custom monkey lizard giant
yeah.
figures, and I think that the biggest thing for me is something like this. This is like the Shang-Chi, and I don't know if this is really a custom. It's more like a kit bash, but painted. But this is like the figure I think they should have released,
Yeah.
at least, where because he was really only in that outfit for like the last quarter of the movie. And I think if we would have had like a regular figure, I think that would have been really cool to get. You know what I mean? So you guys know I do a lot of head swaps, and that's really why I do the head swaps. But I will say this. I've never done a diorama in my life, except for, maybe a Star Trek bridge out of cardboard. But watching like Dan's videos and stuff like that, I am working on this one diorama piece that's going to be like the side of a building. I got like a little piece I'm going to attach to it, and eventually I'm going to paint it. But this is what I've been working on this week. So I think it's
Looks
turning
good.
out okay. And
Yeah.
we'll just see what it looks like after it's painted.
It's gonna look fabulous, man. Can't wait.
So,
Yeah, that looks really
Had to
cool.
one up me though. I mean, couldn't just start with like a small little 14-inch wall. No, not Vern. You're doing 3.5 foot.
I wanted to do a whole street.
I want to
That's it.
welcome Ghost to the stream.
Hey,
Hey,
Chris.
good to see you, Chris.
But that's it. I mean, like I have done a lot of like little stuff, like with like head swaps here and there, and I think it just like multiplies your army in a way. I've never done anything with vintage Star Wars figures or vintage GI Joe figures, but I will say that I have a bunch of 12-inch GI Joes, and I couldn't get to them. But I don't know if I talked about this before. I had done a whole set of Walking Dead figures with my 12-inch GI Joes. Like I did Rick, and I did Daryl. And what was his brother's name on the show?
Oh,
Merle?
Yeah, Merle, and then Glenn. I did Glenn, and then I did Carol and Maggie. So I have all those in like a 12-inch like format, and they turned out okay. Some of them I was like okay with, but it was trying to find outfits for them was the hardest part. Right?
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love a 1/12 scale, Glenn and Carol. And,
Like good ones though, not like these.
yeah,
They have.
that 5-inch McFarlane ones that they did.
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Yeah, some of those are okay, but like
They were, yeah, some of them were good. And then they did the 8-inch, and it was like, where did this scale come from? And they don't articulate. They're just the ones with like the arms that swivel up and down, and that's it.
what
So
I would really like is I would like a full set of the original A-Team in a 6-inch scale with this type of a figure, fully articulable. That's what I would want. And it came to mind because last year when they had, or 2 years ago when they had the Mr. T Mattel wrestling figure, and he had the camo shirt or whatever, and I was thinking, man, if only they had the
I
rest
have
of
that
the
one.
A-Team.
I have that figure, I think, right?
Yeah, I think you
Oh.
got it too. Yeah,
Well, you
got
could
it
grab
in my store.
that. You could grab that Quasar head on that
Oh,
new
yeah?
Marvel Legends, and you could use that for Face Man.
Oh, you're right. That's a good
It
idea.
I thought it looks pretty Dirk Benedicty.
Yeah, and you just throw it on a suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
I just
Cat's
need
up with
Hannibal.
that.
Cat's
Murdoch.
here. Vern, you can make a
Hey.
wall with Galactus or Sentinel.
Yes, that is a tall wall, Vern.
So that's what I was thinking, right? Like, so the ultimate goal for this is, I didn't bring up the other pieces, but just to tell you, they have like this, like, if you go online, they sell like this thing that you put on your wall and it's for like plants or something, but it looks like a fire escape.
Yeah.
So the ultimate goal is I have that fire escape that's going on this wall, and I'm going to piece them together and maybe like make a board. So it's going to be like the ground floor and then maybe like a 3-story building is how tall. So yeah, it could end up with some really cool pictures of that Sentinel coming up, grabbing somebody off the fire escape. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
I know
Stay
what the plan is.
tuned.
I
I
know.
know.
That's next week's challenge.
Next week, right?
We're gonna bring home more Galacti out of nowhere. We're gonna produce them for no apparent reason. Hi, how's it going?
Hey, Cat, so tell us your story.
So my story is I'm basically the late bloomer of the artistic group here. So when I was a kid, yes, I was big time into toys and I made, cardboard forts, but it was never to the extent that you guys did. I think that Nintendo came along and pulled me away right when the artistic side of me was getting ready to flower, if you will. So I don't have a ton of stuff from when I was a kid in terms of things that I did, but same as me, same as Vern, I did also create comic book characters. I had Catman before there was a Catman. So yeah, it was very, very Thundercats meets Batman. So vigilante,
Nice.
but he had a sweet Catmobile instead of the Batmobile, which conveniently looked very similar to the Thunder Tank. So that's where the extent of my artistic realm went in terms of trying to customize figures. I can remember getting a Jax bone crunching action Triple H and trying to make my own Rob Van Dam figure with it because they hadn't come out with ECW figures at the time. So that was my first foray into trying to custom figures. Still don't have that figure. I tapped out because it was too intimidating, and I think I still had like a perfectionist mindset back then. So when I couldn't get it to be the way that I wanted to, I just like got pissed and threw it out. So,
Been there.
yes, very much been there. And so I don't really have a ton of stuff in terms of art. It's one of those things where once you start getting into art, you wish you would go back in time and tell yourself, hey, start taking more art classes.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so true.
Oh, all the time. It's like, had you just started exercising these disciplines earlier in life, maybe you wouldn't be struggling as much as you are as a 43-year-old man trying to paint something and like busting out the magnifying glass because you're so trying to master painting eyes on a figure or statue. But I came back into it when I got into 3D printing, and I got into 3D printing solely because I wanted to enhance my collection. I wanted to have things that they weren't making at mass retail. I wanted to have them in my collection. I wanted to enhance my collection with different items. Arks of the Covenant, maybe a popular one coming up soon that I'm going to be working on. Yes, and just different things, logos and whatnot. I showed them on the stream over the weekend, the Toys and Fitness stream. Showed some of those things off in terms of 3D printing, but I started loving the painting aspect of it, and I didn't think I would. And I got into it for a totally different reason, but once I started doing the busts and seeing the quality of work and kind of surprising myself with some of the things, Vern, like you said, you don't, what others may see as flaws, you don't see at the time until you've progressed to the point where you're beyond where that level was, and then you can look back on it and be like, yeah, I could have done a little bit better. But there's a lot of stuff that I've done where I take a step back and I'm, man, that holds up, and I'm happy with that, and I'm proud of that work. So for me, it's a lot of 3D printing. I try to do things like custom figure work, and I'm trying to do a little bit of diorama work. So I'm happy to participate in this stream just solely from the fact I get to sit underneath the learning tree with all of you guys and get your expertise downloaded to me. So thanks for having me, fellas.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, your painting is on point, man.
I'm telling you,
Moon Knight, just every time I see it, I'm just like,
I want to say something. You were saying like, if you had just taken those art classes or paid attention. So I drew a lot. I've been drawing since I was like really little. And when I was in junior high, that's the first time I actually, you would switch classes.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I ever took like art. And I remember there were so many of these, like, draw this bowl of fruit, draw this like horse running through a field. And me and my friend, all we did was we spent that time drawing our comics. Yeah. And so I finished like 0 of the assignments, and then I turned in my comics for extra credit and ended up getting an A in the class because I was doing these comics. The art teacher was like, you're doing this art? I mean, you got some passion for it? She didn't care about the actual assignments. But I realized, like you said, now there were all these techniques that I would have learned for like shadowing and all that kind of stuff that would have been really important for me to learn if I had just paid attention and done the assignments instead of goofing off and drawing my comics.
But in fairness, what a cool teacher that gave you the pass and recognized that there was more going on there and that you were just getting your art in a different way than what she wanted to deliver it to you.
I totally believe that's exactly what she was like. Here's somebody that just has art in them, and who am I to like force feed it? But I do wish that I had done some of those lessons. Yeah.
I actually took art class and I have I was actually trying to go get it out. I have a painting that I painted. It was like almost like a version of Bob Ross's, like landscape with the trees and all that stuff. And I have it in that closet. And I have a portrait that I painted, I drew of myself. I thought it was in there, but I couldn't see it. Yeah. So I'll pull that out at another time.
Please tell me there's like one single tear, just like
one. G-Force is saying why all of our intros were not as inspirational as Josh's.
They had to bring me in. It's not just for the looks, guys. I'm sorry. I'm here for inspiration as well.
And Lefkos is saying my teacher must have been a hippie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think
nothing wrong with that.
I think all art teachers are hippies, aren't they?
Oh, I know my speech teacher in college was.
Man, I know my one was for sure.
I skirted so many things like that. So when I took speech, I took group communication. That was the speech class because there was no way I was going to get up and do my own speech. So I thought if we did it as a group, I'd be like fine. But that was like late 80s, early 90s. And video cameras were like really popular. I convinced my speech teacher that video was the future and to let us make films. Like instead of giving speeches, we brought in a VHS tape and played it in front of the class. Like, I don't know how we did that. How did we get away with that?
Yeah, that's
Vern, I have a feeling that like half of the episodes of the Goldbergs were like, yeah, I did that too.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I love the Goldbergs.
Hey, you wanted to see some failures and talk about some failed experiments that we got into. You want me to show you something?
Yeah.
All right. So Dan will appreciate this because Dan and I were going to collaborate on a nice diorama and custom figure and 3D printing throne here. So I had printed this throne and started working on it. And it looks pretty sweet. And what was supposed to go along with this was a custom Doctor Doom that I was going to go ahead and repaint and make it look a lot better. But so I went and I repainted Doom, which you can't really see spectacularly here. I repainted Doom, got them all set, and then I said, hey, I really want a custom cape for Doom. But I couldn't find the right material to do a wired cape in a green color that matches what Doom has. So I went and I bought some material, and I actually tried dyeing with this bright green dye. So I bought some white material and tried to dye it bright green. Unfortunately, the material that I bought does not hold color very well. So I ended up with this somewhat turquoise, very, very faint turquoise colored. So I got pissed off, and I haven't revisited the project because I haven't been able to find some good fabric that I could actually use to make that. So
Did you say it's blue?
So
it's like
next week's
like a
challenge
turquoise.
is try to make
a wired cape, try to dye some material.
That's actually not a bad challenge, I think, right?
The wired cape. So I've got a ton of material that I bought up with all intentions of learning how to sew and learning how to do wired capes, and I was really excited. But yeah,
Forget it. There's sewing involved.
There is sewing involved. Yes,
challenge is nope.
Hey, Dino, I sent you a picture of my Grogu, the one that I think is hilarious. Yeah.
What, through Twitter?
Yeah, in the group thing. If you want to put it up.
Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, my StreamYard's lost permission to share anything. I got to figure out the settings, but I can't do it right now. I think it's hilarious. It was like I was using epoxy sculpt, and I was like, how am I going to do these ears? And it's like it's almost like this version of the chrysanthemum that I did, where I did the epoxy sculpt on the belt. It, you know, it just looks funny.
Sorry, I just saw that Grogu.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Let's
it's okay,
see
but
here.
I tried to get you big, Vern, but I don't know how to
that's okay. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I can. You want to get big? Here.
No, I don't. Whoa. I'm done.
He's huge.
All right, I'm gonna share that photo. Let me see if I can.
Josh, did you see G-Force's white cotton shirt?
I did. I saw a white cotton shirt. I was concerned about fraying when I was cutting it to size, but I mean, obviously that stuff didn't work very well. He looks very
old.
He gets stung by bees, Vern.
he's eating eggs.
So John, John, Super Awesome Geek, do you have this in your collection, or do you want it in your collection? He's like, I don't want that thing in my collection.
And you could look. Can you see the stitch work that I did sewing that robe up?
That's good.
I was gonna say the robe looks really good.
If you look, you can see this. You can see the stitches, right? The string, the thread, because I did like really long stitches in the front.
Is that what you? Oh, is that what it was?
That's what those little lines are. They're the thread.
Oh yeah.
I mean, one could argue this is a better head sculpt than that Pedro Pascal head sculpt they put on Din Djarin.
Yeah, maybe. I'm almost thinking this could fit perfectly if Mel Brooks was going to do a Return to Spaceballs or something.
A yogurt, a Grogurt.
Yeah.
Gogurt.
No, they'll call him Gogurt.
Looks sad.
It does look sad.
Now, Vern, you said that is that epoxy that you used?
That's epoxy sculpt.
I'm guessing with the kind of chemical reaction you're talking about, you probably got to use gloves for that, right?
So, yes and no. I mean, I don't. Sometimes I don't, but like, you'll get it on your hands, so you do have to wash. You should wash it off pretty right away. But it really is like a clay, and every time I'm using it, I always think of that Mission Impossible when he's on the helicopter and he's like, red light, green light. And I smash it together and then mix it. But I don't know why. But the thing is like, it's still very pliable for like quite a few hours. So you can get in there like later to do more details, up to 4 or 5 hours later. And then it'll cure like overnight. And the great thing about it is very paintable, right? Like because I had made a the Demogorgon from Stranger Things, and
Really?
to use the dog version, and to make the flower part of the head, I used something called Sugru. It's like moldable glue. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but you can use it for stuff like your headphone cables, like coming apart. You put that on, and it makes like the little rubber piece, and it'll be flexible. You can make like little stick them on the wall and hang your keys on it or something like that, and you mold it. But that stuff is not paintable at all. So all the paint eventually came off my
Oh, yeah, right,
Demogorgon. Yeah. So now it just looks like, this thing with like these
his
white.
head exploded.
So
Yeah.
I started when I did do those custom figures. I used I want to say it was either Macon's clay or Sculpey clay, but
Sculpey?
it wasn't the bake. It was air dry,
Oh,
and I
okay.
have this would have been years and years ago, and I can't find that stuff anywhere now. And the cheap stuff that I can find that's air baked, you're absolutely right. It paints and it paints okay, but it doesn't dry very smooth. I don't like the way that it dries. If you don't knead it just right,
Right.
you got waves and cracks and lines in it, and then you got to go back through and sand and paint and sand and paint, and it's not worth it. And that other stuff that I used way back, man, one time, that's it. You sculpt it, it dries, you paint it. It was awesome.
Yeah. I had made this piece right here I got from the 99-cent store during Halloween. Then I just like built this chair on the front, and I used this like air dry clay so it feels like foam.
Yeah,
And it's easy to use, but I don't think it really looked that great, right?
yeah.
But I went and I got another one. I painted them. So I did this one in gold. And then this is actually done with epoxy sculpt.
Oh yeah, look at oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see how that coating is staying on there so well.
Yeah.
Much better.
So that's another good point for the reason why I thought it would be a good idea to start a stream like this is because if you watch one of my latest videos is I created the Thundar, and I had a little epic fail in it, and we all, I mean, creating, you're gonna have fails, and that's the only way you learn.
Yeah.
So I decided to make Thundar to make the Origins Thundar is I wanted to use air dry clay to make his vest instead of using, because it was an Origins, and I think Origins would have been more of like a plasticky or instead of like cloth. So I went that route, but when it dried, it shrank a bit and then just crumbled and fell apart.
Yep.
So watching Vern's videos, he talked about using epoxy putty. I didn't know anything about epoxy putty, so I searched, and I'm like, that's what I want to do. So I'm going to get epoxy putty, and I'm going to use it for some of my future projects instead of air dry clay. But air dry clay can be used for, making, for which is going to be next week's possible challenge is flames. So I can make a piece of wood with wrapping on it, and then get possibly hot glue to make the flame, and then paint it, and that could be a project for next week's challenge. So next week's challenge
Rolando
could be create flame or ice or water with hot glue. So those are the two challenges.
Wait. Now what?
You had other challenges at the beginning. So which challenge is it?
Yeah. So the first challenge, number 1, was go back and revisit a project that you could do better on. Or challenge number 2 is create fire, ice, or water with hot glue.
How about we just like finish some of our projects?
That's a good idea.
That was your idea, Josh.
I'm just saying we can do it.
That whole thing about the hot glue.
Yeah, we'll do the hot glue. Yeah, we're gonna do the hot glue. Hot glue's happening. Let's do it. Hot glue.
Hot glue in it. So, if anybody wants to vote in the chat, what do you think? Hot glue or revisit?
Well, revisit. I feel like that would be a long-term project because you might have so like if I revisit a diorama, it's gonna take me a while to fix one that I screwed up. I got plenty of them sitting around.
Yeah.
It's gonna take me a while to fix it.
Maybe you could.
Here we
I need a
go.
spreadsheet.
You do.
Where's the dude for the spreadsheets?
This is a no dude zone from the standpoint that he does not get his hands dirty when it comes to customization at all.
Yes.
Well, I'm curious to know if he's thinking about buying one of those McFarlanes that are unpainted and painting it.
I don't know if you realize he actually throws away his heads because he can't. He's just intimidated by the fact of like anything that involves like removing something from a figure.
Wait,
he's not a
so the
fan of.
extra heads he tosses?
Yeah, he just throws them out.
Cut it out.
What?
Oh my God, you guys! I'm kidding. Calm down.
I could use those.
You were serious. I mean, he's that. I could see it
That's
though.
all, folks.
No,
Thanks
I
for
don't know.
coming.
I don't know.
Yeah, because
I
I
don't know
could
about
see
that.
he's so adverse to.
All I know is I could use those heads. You know what? I've been
Yeah,
trying
right.
to build this guy, and I need an arm, a leg, and a head.
What is that?
Anyone?
The pre-century?
It's
Who
the
Crimson Dynamo.
Crimson Dynamo. Thank you.
Gotcha.
I used his arm for my when I did the $6 million bear.
The $6 million. Oh yeah, right.
By the way, thank you, Rolando, for the avoid shrinkage. I can't wait until next week when Dino busts out the George Costanza when it was called shrinkage.
Great episode. Oh, we have Joey came in.
What's up, Joey?
Good to see you.
Joey, hey.
He's going to announce that I won this mock figure pretty soon.
Oh, he hasn't done it yet, has he? The
Yeah,
giveaway?
I think I won.
No, I
Dino's
won.
So upset.
I know I want that figure. So that's it. I think we're gonna wrap up. We did an hour. We're gonna try to keep it at an hour, so Vern can eat dinner.
It's 5:28 here.
Yeah.
You guys feel free to go till midnight.
So I think the winner for next week's challenge is G4
We got-
says it. Hot glue.
Hot glue.
So we got to do something with hot glue.
Hot glue.
We're gonna do.
yeah.
I'll put something together for us. We'll put it. It's basically gonna be flame effects.
Okay.
So I'll send you what I do, and then we'll maybe do an interactive demonstration where one of us does the hot glue part, one of us will do the painting part, one of us will do getting everything prepped. We'll see. We'll figure
Okay.
something out.
We'll
make
figure
it good.
something out.
Like the whole maybe I can do the whole safety demonstration on how to plug in your hot glue gun and not get burnt.
Yes, and one of us can do the what not to do. So if anybody's up for burning their home down for the sake of a live stream,
Yeah,
why not?
I'll pass on that one.
Yeah.
So I think next week, Josh, you want to host? We'll pass it around.
Sure, why not?
So we'll have Cap Cave host for next week, and so everyone, please subscribe if you're not subscribed to Cap Cave.
Definitely.
And
Please do
put
that.
your bell notification so you know when we're going to do one of these
And since
amazing live streams.
Dino didn't provide the links to anybody's channels, good luck
I
finding
did.
it.
It's all in the description. Aren't they
All
in the description? It's in the description.
below.
It
Remember
is.
to smash that like button. Sorry.
We had to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on social media.
Oh yeah, here's the link. www.hlq.
Is that right? Any last words, guys?
No, I don't got
Stay
anything.
crafty, y'all.
Yeah. Stay crafty and get your hot glues ready for next week.
Nice
So-
tagline. I like it.
Stay crafty. Where's
Take
the
care, guys.
banner that says "Stay crafty"?
I don't have one. That's for next week. We do have this.
Name?
Yes. His name is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
THOR. And your relationship to him?
He was a family friend.
Until she hit him with a car.
I didn't hit him with a car. I accidentally hit him with my speeder bike.
I did.
Sorry.
I don't know what that had to do with this, but
Exactly.
you all can figure it out.
Take care, guys.